Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
the Lodgecast experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Lodgecast. With me tonight is Brother Lucas.
Hello.
And Brother Bishke.
My name's David.
And our special guest, Lodgers will know him as Nathan Anderson.
Hey, it's good to be here. Brother Nathan.
What have you just packed full of essential herbs?
Oh, I'm packing a special friend here. He's not going to be able to comment on the movies tonight, but Gandalf Pipe is with us, ladies and gentlemen. The Lodge people will know exactly what I'm talking about, but anyone else who doesn't can Google it and find a delicious
shall
picture.
not exhale.
And we're packing it. We're going to pack it tonight for
We're going
Mute.
to pack it deep.
Yeah, most people have been very intimate with this guy here, and it's not broken yet, but it will someday. But we'll have a little funeral for it at that time.
So we're going to get muted tonight. Does anybody know anything about this film?
All I know is that Duncan Jones, the director, who is the biological son of the late great David Bowie,
Zoe Bowie,
I believe conceived of the premise. Like, it's his own idea.
Original work.
It's his version of a Blade Runner type of hard sci-fi.
Everybody
movie.
wants one of those. Everybody wants to have their own Blade Runner.
And
Everybody wants their little Blade
it
Runner.
seems like it's an adult, hard sci-fi type of movie.
I've heard some rumblings that it's of questionable quality, but I think it looks bonkers enough that we need to look in and look deep and give it its day in court, as it were.
I smell a whiff.
Well, it's like I feel like Netflix will also be a sponsor because we've seen some of these trash bin movies that just are coming out by Netflix every day.
Just for the
I
record,
don't know. I
just
don't know
for the
if it's good or
record,
bad.
just for full disclosure, I am currently, as of today or tonight, working on a Netflix movie, which is untitled, which will be released October 28th.
This is a hot announcement. Hot off the press.
And I
Hot
told the producer of the Netflix movie last Thursday to her face, an Oscar-nominated producer who shall remain nameless, I said, in 5 years, it's going to be a street fight between Disney and Netflix, and Disney will win because they have the 100-year library of Disney, they have the 100-year library of Fox, they have the 30-year library of Lucasfilm, they have the 10-year library of Marvel, and all Netflix has
My money's on Disney.
is straight to DVD content. And she got really insulted because I was basically trash talking the
You were
movie
bringing down the Ten
that
Commandments.
we were working
of the
on.
situation.
Yeah, she kind of walked away from me, and I was like, "Ooh, I just put my foot in my mouth."
She wanted to mute you so bad. Speaking of which, let's smoke weed from this Gandalf pipe
Yeah, we're gonna all
and
pass.
take this journey. The sights, the sounds, perhaps the smells of Duncan Jones's Mute.
Love and light to the Lodge.
Love and light.
We're going to approach it with love and light, and we'll see you on the other side.
Zip. Mute.
Well, we done got muted. We are back. Before we get into anything, I think it's important, just so we're all kind of on the same page. Hold it in, guys. Brother Bishke is going to read the synopsis from Rotten Tomatoes. So listen closely, because we're going to be coming at you with a lot of crazy shit. So go ahead, sir.
All right, here we go. To set the stage, Berlin, the future,
it is.
but close enough to feel familiar. In this loud, often brutal city, Leo, Alexander Skarsgard, unable to speak from a childhood accident, searches for his missing girlfriend, the love of his life, his salvation, through dark streets, frenzied plazas, and the spectrum of the city's shadow dwellers. As he seeks answers, Leo finds himself mixed up with Cactus Bill, played by Paul Rudd, and Duck, played by Justin Theroux, a pair of irreverent U.S. Army surgeons on a mission all their own. This soulful sci-fi journey from filmmaker Duncan Jones, Moon, Source Code, Warcraft, imagines a world of strange currencies in which echoes of love and humanity are worth listening to.
Now you may smoke, Mr. Bishke.
Okay.
You done good.
So that that kind of paints a broad stroke there.
That's a broad stroke, kind of a broad outline of the plot.
I'll kick things off by saying that I made it through maybe 10% of what Bishke just summarized. I felt that I watched maybe 30 to 45, 60 minutes of the feature.
An hour maybe.
And on 2 occasions, I asked my fellow brethren what the story was about because I was really focusing hard. And
okay,
it was
Lucas,
tough.
you were having a tough time. You pussied out. I got to get this off my chest.
Yeah.
Lucas made a very grand proclamation at the beginning, like, okay, guys, let's be professional podcasters here and keep it muted, bottle it up, keep it for the podcast, keep your hot takes inside. So we're like, yeah, that sounds great. And then he proceeded to just spaz out all over the room. He couldn't sit still. The weed wasn't doing anything. It was hyping him up even more. He threatened to leave. He was going to go to the Habit and get a milkshake. He was doing everything he could to not watch this movie. And
It was tough. It was hard.
Bishke got very stern with him and said, "Lucas, sit down."
And then Lucas passed out.
We got out Ray Dog, which
backwards on your ass.
is our giant stuffed animal, which is our mascot, to be a comfort animal, and he passed out immediately and snored through the last hour of the film.
It was true, but to my defense, if you were to make a movie called Mute, starring a guy who doesn't talk since childhood, you might want to get someone a little more charismatic and interesting than Alexander Skarsgard.
Okay.
Well, that's definitely one of the problems with the movie, right? It's a handicap.
That's the main problem.
You handicap your film having a guy just try to... You can't ask any questions. You can't further the plot. I mean...
The main character doesn't
Alan's
speak for the vast majority of the
He
film.
doesn't sign Shape of Water styles. You don't give him subtitles.
He's got a little notebook.
He's got a little notebook, and the girlfriend in it who disappears, she says, "What are you always doodling in there?"
Yeah, she like belittles
And he definitely
his
is.
little
He's
journal.
always a doodling. He's doodling pictures. He's doodling phrases.
He's doing a big bear, little bear.
He draws bears. So,
He spreads it around.
So basically, it's if Moon was Duncan Jones 2001, this is definitely his Blade Runner attempt. It's got everything: Blade Runner, Fifth Element, Attack of the Clones. It's got-
Speaking of Moon,
I mean, we got to mention all
Duncan Jones' first film,
that.
he has a callback to the Sam Rockwell characters.
Sam Rockwell and his clones make an appearance.
Spoiler. Oh.
yeah,
And-
spoilers are fine.
And it's funny, and it's cute, and it ties the world together. It makes it more real and
That was
dimensional.
Lucas's last big hurrah before he took a nosedive into the stuffed animal.
Yeah, those for me. I mean, the thing never has all these stories, but it never lands. I mean, that's the fun part about it. Is at least is like this is what's going down on the ground. Well, he's up there doing the moon, the better movie, and
It's a shared universe.
Yeah.
Even though I slept through most of it, wouldn't you say that the production value, specifically the cinematography, was lacking a certain texture or cinematic quality?
Sure, it was very
a-
clean.
Like,
It was a
it
Netflix-
felt like a little flat. Like,
felt
like they were shooting.
But
Like
we still had a budget here.
the
probably.
budget was
there was
huge.
a budget. There was a
I think
budget.
maybe $40 to $50 million was.
At least. You
Yeah.
guys are crazy.
Okay.
Triple
it's
it.
more than that.
Okay. No.
You guys
it's
don't know
shot-
what Netflix
I
is dealing
I
with.
agree
Oh,
with Lucas. I mean, it's all washed out. It's shot kind of like
doesn't look good, though.
a sci-fi.
You guys, we got
the Sci-Fi Channel
way
weekend
bigger
movie.
fish to fry. You guys are burying the lead completely.
We're talking about the cinematography.
Fair
enough.
We
Touche.
need to
Okay,
talk
touche.
about
Touche,
Paul
yeah.
Rudd and
Yes.
Justin Theroux.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Because we get to know these guys while we're getting to know the mute and his missing girlfriend. And cross-cutting, and
All right.
they couldn't be further apart. These two stories don't converge until deep into the movie. Yeah. So what happens is
you're struggling to connect
You
them a
get
little
this strange kind of bromance, quasi-dark comedy between these two.
Yeah.
Because they're awful. Like, they're the bad guys in the movie. Justin Theroux plays a pediatrician that's spying on his young patients.
He's a pedo-pediatrician.
He's a pedotrician.
like you really got to describe what Theroux looks like. He's not got his dark hair. He's got a blonde wig on.
He looks kind of
John
like
Lennon
Stanley
glasses.
Tucci, a shaky Stanley Tucci in The Lovely Bones. Coming back to The Lovely Bones. again.
Definitely get a pedophile vibe there.
So he's a pedophile. Rudd's insane. He tortures people.
But
And
then Rudd draws the line at pedophilia. So the moral compass of these two is very
strange.
Yeah.
So
he wears loud shirts.
Yeah, so they're
he's like
they're
a
constantly getting into hijinks with each other, but
They go bowling.
They go bowling together.
bowling,
they have
yeah.
fights, but then they reconcile.
They call each other honey and baby.
They
all
call
the
each other
time.
babe all the
Hey,
time.
babe. Oh, I don't think you should do that, babe.
It's very strange. So their plot is so different and
Paul Rudd is a
disconnected
kid.
from the main one that Nathan said this subplot is like the barnacle on this movie.
Yeah.
But that barnacle
exists.
grows to the point where I'm like upset when they cut away from them because you
Oh,
get to know
those,
them
yeah.
way better than the mute.
Yeah, because they're communicating. The mute,
They're actually talking.
the
They're
mute,
communicating their ideas.
Skarsgård
You
as
get
the
more
mute
character.
Mennonite. He's a Mennonite, by the way.
He's
Or-
Amish.
Yeah,
There's heavy
We're gonna lead
Amish.
with- he's making bed stands. He's making cribs out of wood. He's excited by carving all these things.
And he dresses like an Amish
Yeah,
type
he's a,
of
he's
guy.
Arm bracelet
and he's
beads.
referred to as a tech-tard.
Oh, what? What? Are you judging me now, huh? You fucking tech-tard?
We all really grabbed on to Tech-Tard.
Tech-Tard would have been a
early.
great title. Oh.
Yeah,
Tech-Tard should have been the title.
Yeah.
Provocative.
There's a couple lines that stuck out to me. I think it Theroux. He says, "As long as I have cash to splash and cooch to smooch, I am a happy man."
when they're bowling.
When
he
they're
said that.
bowling,
Yeah,
he
when they're
says
bowling.
that. When Rudd confronts Theroux about his pediatrician practices, he just barges into his office and says,
Itty bitty titties, huh?
Jesus Christ, are you high?
that happens.
Are you high?
Are you high? That is
That's
directly
uttered
following
in
that.
mute. Yeah.
But
Also
Skarsgård's
mute,
by himself, mute, walking through like this Blade Runner city,
trying to get clues.
and he's got no express. He gets kind of an ongoing, just depressed quality to him. But he has no. You don't know what he's feel. I mean,
Because he can't talk.
Because he can't talk, and there's no one to communicate with, even if he could.
And he kind of acted
trying to
like
find
a
his girl.
clown at a circus with his exaggerated facial
Well,
expressions.
there's a lot of strange performances in this, and I feel like Duncan Jones may have gone method mute in his directing, and maybe Duncan Jones was just furiously scribbling or drew a picture to tell you how to play a role. That's kind of how it felt.
Yeah,
A lot of this, like
No, I
even
think Jones was going through some stuff. Like the film is dedicated to David Jones, David Bowie,
Yeah.
and so you can see in Skarsgård Duncan Jones, maybe.
yeah.
well, like a pseudo.
There's also a lot of Tommy Wiseau-esque Wiseauian line readings where the emphasis is on the wrong word. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's tone
I
deaf
am walking
performances.
over here, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's... Rudd has a lot of this where you're like, who's monkeying with your performance, Rudd? But he and Theroux are having a blast. And that's what makes their subplot, I think, more interesting.
Yeah.
Is because they're having so much fun with these completely off the wall characters. The aforementioned confrontation scene, the itty bitty titties scene, goes on like the big fight scene in They Live, but like verbal sparring. They just keep going and going and going, and
Oh yeah, it's acting fodder.
And it's a whole
They're
different
loving
movie,
it.
but you're into it for that.
you're in.
Yeah.
It almost feels like like a short series, like a one-car wide piece where it kind of goes this way, that way, and then comes back to something. No,
Similar to Lucas, I had a lot of problems toward the beginning. I think Lucas was adding to my anxiety just
Sorry.
from being around, but
Sorry.
but I think it's kind of like drowning. You know, you struggle for a little bit, and then you find that, supposedly, I've never drowned to death, but you find that euphoria before you pass. And that's kind of what I felt when I realized, hey, don't pay attention to the plot. Look at the meal called fly meal flying in the window and landing on the table. Like look around the plot. Look adjacent to the plot.
Don't forget the sex robots in that one guy.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That brings us to our next point, which is I want to make a recurring section of this podcast to be, what is the salad dragon scene? And by that, I'm referencing the Reese Witherspoon salad dragon from A Wrinkle in Time. It's the moment where we know it's a Lodgecast movie. Like, it's the moment where we know we're in the right place.
Yeah.
We may have gone far afield, but we're dialed in.
It's touched.
And in this film, there is a doozy.
Oof.
And it could stand as its own film as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't even sure what the mute was doing at this point. My sweet goodly wife, who was staying on top of the plot, as it were, was keeping us abreast. But evidently, the mute was searching for clues.
He was going from brothel to brothel to brothel.
He's going from brothel to brothel.
Yeah.
And Dominic Moynihan
He's painted up like a geisha.
He's painted up like a
like
geisha.
no joke, like a geisha. White face,
and
address everything.
And the mute's in there. He wants some information, and he ends up throwing Dominic into the bedroom and onto the bed where there are these two giant sex robots just thrusting in
a Kama Sutra position.
In a Kama Sutra position. Just
like ready to go.
Thrusting vigorously at each other and going wild. And
then they cut to an outside view of the apartment, and it's just like silence and these sex robots.
It's kind of like a Star Wars prequel, apartment, has a big bay window, and there's the flying electric shaver cars by the window.
That's where the movie really came to life for me. I'm like, oh, this is batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And from then on, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I will make no apologies.
The future, and it's a little Back to the Future 2. It's a little
everything.
It's a little Highlander 2, the Quickening.
I cannot believe this movie got made. I cannot believe this movie got financed.
Thank God for Netflix.
Think about the script. Think about the script.
I can't imagine a boardroom of executives watching this and signing off on this at any stage.
And this is playing for families.
Families are gathered together at holidays or functions when they're trying not to talk to each other. What do? You put on Netflix.
There's a Paul Rudd comedy.
It's a Paul Rudd's looking funny. Look at that mustache. They're going to put it on. And holy shit! I couldn't
mute tonight.
I couldn't help but think of the just T-bone crash of expectation and reality that this movie bestows upon families. Millions of families.
Millions of family.
And it goes over 2 hours. The mom comes in.
The mom or the dad comes in. We're shutting this off.
Yeah, there's children running around with prostitutes. It's
pedophilia running rampant.
There's always a stripper scene that connects them with Bright. Had a stripper scene as well.
Very downbeat. Ending with a little glimmer of Turner and Hooch.
There's
hope at the end.
There's a lot more.
Loop-de-loop back to what is it about? What is this movie about?
Let's get to the meaning, the philosophy.
Sure.
So
because I was asking before I passed out more than once. That's how challenging
the tech-tard element, just around all this technology, because the Moon had that as well, where it was a technological environment, but he wasn't. He had to break through. The humanity had to break through, and at the end, it has kind of a Shape of Water moment where he rescues the daughter, and so there's humanity in it. There's some love at the beginning.
But here's the thing. It's hard to think about that when your main character is beating up a whole nightclub full of people with a quality craftsmanship Amish bedpost. And
perfect club.
A mini boss rips a robotic leg off of a robot stripper and fights with him with it.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about theme when that kind of shit's going on. And for me, I don't really give a shit about the theme. I could watch this on mute and enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been fun with a little more action and spice.
I'm just trying to see what Duncan Jones was going for. He didn't accomplish anything thematically, but
Duncan Jones was high on his own supply of this breakthrough in tone and time and space that didn't quite gel together in a way that I think anybody really understands. But I think he accidentally made something that will be lodged in my head for quite some time. I don't think I'm going to forget this movie.
You're going to try to unpack this movie? You're going to give it that much time?
I'm not going to... No, that's the thing. I'm not unpacking shit. I'm leaving it packed up. I'm looking at the surface. I'm going to think about the random dude in the Stalin shirt playing this strange musical video game on the street. And then he says, I need my mental power for chick digits. What?
Well, the script is fully fleshed out with all that dialogue.
The script is bonkers.
It must have been 3 hours. The first cut must have been 3 hours long.
Because every scene has new characters.
Every scene introduces
new lingo. He definitely has been working on this for decades.
And he's lost the forest for the trees, but sometimes the most memorable art, and for sure the lodgiest art, is that way, where you're so far up your own ass that you don't know the directions anymore. That's definitely what's going on here, and that's what makes it special. I just can't believe it got to play out on such a massive scale.
Yeah.
Well, I think with the talent involved too. Like they all signed up for this, and Netflix signed up for it too. It's like here's 30 million,
40, 50, 60. Sky's the limit.
Dude, it did not. It looked like a sci-fi movie.
Also, the soundtrack came to play. Like I thought the soundtrack was good, but it's playing a different game than the movie's playing.
Yeah.
Like they're playing two different games.
So is this just the beginning for Duncan Jones, or is this the very end?
I think this is the nail in the coffin.
Okay, I think that's.
He's really had some struggle. I mean,
but who knows with Netflix?
I think
Warcraft blew up in his face.
There's probably going to be a Bright 2, like
There's going to be a Bright 2 and possibly 3, so maybe Netflix doesn't give a shit.
And maybe Mute. Yeah.
There's enough families just absentmindedly tuning into this, and, just people who are curious. There could be a Mute 2.
They're just rushing out content,
I would be first to stream.
It's not going to be the last Netflix movie. I know that, man.
Yeah.
Lucas, you made a very good point to say that maybe we keep this podcast in the theaters because it hurts too much to watch.
Yeah. I felt it was a little too easy for me to melt into a puddle onto the ground. Because honestly, like, I'm not saying A Wrinkle of Time was any easier.
But
actually, this film was probably more entertaining. But there's something about Alexander Skarsgard and the cinematography and I was in a good place. I was in a safe place. I was comfortable. I was warm.
Sure.
Yeah, we need a captive audience.
It really fucking slapped me like so hard. I was so eager and excited to get here and watch it and contribute. But as soon as I had like a Tecate and a couple of hits, it was like it felt like Satan pissing in my face. Like it was tough. Like
my favorite point was
really
when
tough.
Nathan tried one more time to rile you, and he said, "Lucas, Robert De Niro just showed up." That would
Robert De Niro's in it.
I was in a state of mind where I believed him for a second. I'm like, De Niro, where?
All the money in the world to make
Where
this
is
movie.
he? So
all the weed in the world didn't help this movie, man. It didn't make it more interesting. It felt like a clone.
I disagree respectfully.
Should we get to our bones? Or?
Let's get to the bones.
Okay.
I think if we unpack this plot anymore, we're just going to get more lost.
We're going to be finger pointing. Yeah. We're going to be blaming each other.
Let's go to the bones. Lucas, I think you should recuse yourself, just like Jeff Sessions. This is
he can rate the first hour.
I will say I would have cast anyone else but Alexander Skarsgård. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
Oh.
Nathan. Special guest, brother Nathan.
I agree. I agree that it's amazing that it got all that talent. But I think Duncan Jones is really to blame with the direction, with the writing. It's just
we need a bone count.
Yeah, what's
I'm
the
gonna
bone
do
count?
One bone.
One bone.
Ooh.
What do you got from Lucas?
I would have given it 1 too. I would have given it 1.
That's all.
Bishki, think about it now.
I'm not going to rate it as highly as I did the Salad Dragon.
Would you give it an extra?
I gave Salad Dragon 2 bones. This one, the story to me, especially the Skarsgård section, got so painful. I'm going to give it 1.5 bones.
Okay.
That's so generous.
That's pretty generous. It hurt. It kind of, there was...
Work it through.
Yeah, I'm gonna... I can't recommend this, Lodge, but we got some different opinions here. So, all right, take it over, Lodge Master.
I'm on the fence between 2 and 2.5.
Ooh.
Because I think there is a lot of inventiveness on display. There's too many ideas. It doesn't lack for ambition. I think you can do this if you're somebody who can fold laundry and watch at the same time, because you don't really want to look away.
I recommend the last half hour, maybe.
But
there's other parts too.
You don't need to be sitting forward with tented fingers.
Don't pay full attention.
Don't pay full attention. Let it kind of play out in your periphery, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I recommend this to every member of the Lodge. I give it a full Lodge endorsement.
Oh.
This could have easily been a first feature at the Lodge.
Oh.
I mean, if you're a Paul Rudd completist, you got to see it,
If you're a Paul Rudd completist, and spoiler alert, there's
a lot of Paul Rudd.
There's some buried Rudd coming to the Lodge proper within the next calendar year.
Halloween 6.
Deeper than that, sir.
Deeper.
2.5 bones from myself.
Wow.
So we got lots more Lodgecasts coming up. We got plans. We got field trips. We got Cobra coming to the next Lodge.
Cobra. I just want to get involved.
Cobra and the Stabilizer, which Lucas has not seen Cobra, and I don't think any of us have seen the Stabilizer.
The Beverly Hills Cop that never was.
So we all look forward to seeing your smiling, lovely faces, and much light and love to
Much
the
light
Lodge.
and love to the Lodge.
Brother Nathan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nate.
Thanks for having me. Oh, yeah, it's fun talking movies.
Thank you so much for being here, and we love you, Lodge.
Love you. Love
See
you
you
guys.
next time.
Mwah.